Put on this.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let's have our seats, please. We're going to start very soon. Thank you so much. Sound check. Please, ushers, find yourselves at the secretariat now, please. All ushers, please meet at the secretariat now. Thank you. 2 or 3 ushers should meet at the secretariat as we make plans to commence. Thank you. we please kindly plead with all officers who have no assignments here and along the rostrum to please stay clear. Thank you. Sound check. Your Excellencies, very distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I, in behalf of the Planning Committee, welcome you all to Obasanjo Space Center, the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASRDA, venue for this all-important, extraordinary summit put together, powered and delivered by the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, may we now rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That will be closely followed by the Federal Civil Service anthem. Federal Civil Service anthem, please.
There were obstacles and there were hurdles that we had to face. There were challenges and there were struggles that we had to brace. Now there's a sound of change that is coming, a journey towards a transforming and rebuilding a system that will stand the test of time. Yes, we're building a system that will stand the test of time.
Efficient, productive, incorruptible, citizen-centered and epic culture.
Civil service, our mission is clear as day. This is a vision for change, a citizen-centered epic culture. Join us to move Nigeria forward. This is the Federal Civil Service. We are marching to greatness.
Creating new possibilities, rebuilding capacity. Serving the people with excellence and honesty. Where there's the drive, where there's inspiration, partnership and innovation.
Yes, we're building a system that will stand the test of time. Oh, yes, we're building a system that will stand the test of time. This is the Federal Civil Service. Our mission is clear as day. This is a call for transformation. This is a vision for change. A citizen-centered happy culture. Join us to move Nigeria forward. This is the Federal Civil Service. We are marching to greatness.
Where technology meets innovation for sustainability. Civil servants rewarded for excellence and creativity. Yes, a strong civil service means hope for our country.
This is the Federal federal civil service, our mission is Class A.
This is a call for transformation. This is a vision for change. This is intense and happy culture. Join us to move Nigeria forward. This is the federal civil service. We are marching to greatness. Marching to greatness. Marching to greatness. Marching to I see culture marching to greatness. I see culture marching to greatness.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we remain standing, may we now take the last stanza of the national anthem that will, of course, serve as our opening prayer. May we recite it together. O God of all creation, grant these our one requests. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. You may please resume your seats, very delectable ladies and gentlemen. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Innovation, Science and Technology, Distinguished Senator Aminu Iya Abbas. The Chairman, House Committee on Innovation, Science and Technology, Right Honorable Dr. Temihin Adeligbe. The Chairman, House Committee on Science and Technology, Right Honorable Inuwa Garba. The Chairman of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology, the Honorable Minister, Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Geoffrey Naji. The representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, himself, the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Dr. Mbari Morris Namdi OON, a very delectable Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, Mrs. Esuabanga Nko Asayen, the paper presenter, himself the President, African University of Science and Technology, Professor A.P. Onwalu, members of the Diplomatic Corps, directors of the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, directors general of the ministry, captains of industry, honorable commissioners from various states of the Federation representing the 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation, permanent secretaries from various states of the Federation, industry players, delegates to the 22nd National Council meeting, gentlemen of the 4th Estate of the Realm, my lords spiritual and temporal, very delectable and splendid guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and rare privilege to at this point welcome your excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to Obasanjo Space Center, the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASRDA, venue for the 22nd meeting of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here from Monday, the 12th day of May 2025, and this event is getting to its climax with the summit today and with the chairman of the National Council, the Honorable Minister, Innovation, Science and Technology, chairing today's event. we have been guided by the theme, research, develop, innovate, and commercialize, a circle for national prosperity. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, and for the sake of this all-important national assignment, may I crave your indulgence that we applaud ourselves for being very wonderful right from Monday up until this moment. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May I, at this point, have the honor and privilege to introduce the cream de la cream as far as science and technology and innovation is concerned in Nigeria. And of course, you know what affects Nigeria affects Africa. Join me at this point as I introduce to us the Chairman, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, who was here in record time even before the commencement of this event, distinguished Senator Aminu Iya Abbas. A round of applause please for him. We have also, ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman, House Committee on Science Research Institute, Honorable Dr. Timehin Adeligbe. Please a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. In our midst also, ladies and gentlemen, which actually underscores the importance of this event, we have the Chairman, House Committee on Science and Engineering, Right Honorable Inuwa Gabar. Ladies and gentlemen, one man who has stood tall and has said that science and tech will always lead in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is the Chairman of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology, the Honorable Minister, Innovation, Science and Technology. Please join me as I welcome Chief Uche Geoffrey Naji. To underscore the importance the federal government has attached to this event, ladies and gentlemen, we have here representing the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He has sent his worthy lieutenant, the Permanent Secretary, General Services Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. It is my honor to recognize an officer of the Order of the Niger, Dr. Mbiari Morris Nandi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, she has been very meticulous, very pragmatic, very diligent, and studied as far as this event is concerned. She has galvanized all available human and material resources to ensure that this national assignment sees the light of the day. It is my honor and rare privilege to introduce to us the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, our mother, Mrs. Iswabanga Nko Asayan. Also on the top table, ladies and gentlemen, we have the paper presenter, no less a personality, the President, African University of Science and Technology. Join me as I welcome Professor A.P. Onwalu. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have members of the diplomatic corps who are here to grace this event and to lend their support to Innovation, Science and Technology Ministry. We have here, ladies and gentlemen, representing the Embassy of Japan in Nigeria. Join me as I welcome the Deputy Head of Mission and Counselor, Hitoshi Kazaki. In similar fashion, ladies and gentlemen, we have Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Cuba to Nigeria, Mrs. Miriam Morales Palmero. You're highly welcome, Your Excellency, we are honored to have you. Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have a barrage of directors from the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. Please, for the want of time, all directors in the ministry, may I crave your indulgence to please stand for recognition. Thank you very much. All directors in the ministry, wherever you are, please stand for recognition. Of course, we have many of them still working and ensuring that we have a smooth day. Ladies and gentlemen, on the top table, we have the host Director General, the fourth substantive Director General of the leading space agency in Africa, who has brought in so much dexterity, vigor, and ingenuity to ensure that NASRDA stands tall amongst the Committee of Nations. Join me as I welcome my Director General and Chief Executive, Dr. Matthew Olumide Adepoju. And to his left, immediate left, is his very strategic friend. You always find them together discussing national importance. The Director General and Chief Executive of the Energy Commission of Nigeria. Very pragmatic, very energetic, and very serious when it comes to energy issues in Nigeria. Dr. Mustafa Abdulhai. Also very distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our Director General, who you will always love to hear him speak when it comes to building matters in Nigeria. Very passionate about building. The Director General and Chief Executive, NIBRI, Engineer Professor Samson Duna. Of course, to give the top table a security outlook, we have joining us, ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Service Corps. He's here in his capacity representing the Commandant of the FCT Command. Please put your hands together for our own Mr. Bukar Hazaini Pama. You're highly welcome, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The list is endless, but we'll do everything within our powers to introduce our dignitaries as they come. But then we have honorable commissioners who are here representing their states, and they have done well to be here in record time to lend their force and energy for this event. Let me now invite my colleague to now roll the names of the commissioners whose names we have for this event. I am one of your compares, Ita Okon, Office of the Director General, NASRDA. My colleague, Miriam, will run down the list of the commissioners.
Thank you, my brother, Mr. Itang. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and I'm honored to be part of this program. Quickly, I will go through the commissioners that are present here. I have Abasin Gabriel, is a Commissioner of Science, Technology, Innovation, Nasarawa State. You're welcome, sir. I have Zulaihat Salau Ankara, representing the Commissioner Zamfara State. You're welcome, my dear sister. Abdullah Gidado Abar, representing Commissioner Taraba State. Thank you, Taraba State. I have Dr. Cletus Bako, also he's a Commissioner Plateau State. Quickly, I have Dr. Justin Beshel, Commissioner Cross River State. I also have with me Dr. Odinigwe Daniel Odige, he's a Commissioner Delta State. With me also is Honorable Sheun Fakwade, Ekiti State Commissioner, represented by Dr. Ayola Ileola, Director of Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics. You're also welcome. I have with me Dr. Adeni Helen A. She's a Commissioner, Kogi State. I have also with me Honorable Dele Maruf Ayofe, Honorable Commissioner, Ocean State, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Olufunko Jolayemi. You're also welcome. I also have with me Engineer Jonathan Ekpebo. He's representing Commissioner Edo State. You're also welcome, sir. I have with me, please, there are some names, if I didn't mention it well, please forgive me for mentioning it in a wrong way. I have Engineer Munal Layefa Edwin, Honorable Commissioner, Bayelsa State, ably representing Bayelsa State. You're welcome. Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I have Patient Fakai. She's a Honorable Commissioner, Plateau State. You're welcome, ma. I also have with me Professor Atahiru Ahmed Sifawa, Honorable Commissioner, Sokoto State. Thank you very much. I'll hand over the microphone to my colleague, Ita. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for running through the list of all the honorable commissioners. Again, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have a barrage of directors general in the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. Time will not permit, I call all the directors general and their various agencies. But please, all DGs under the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, may I crave your indulgence to please rise for recognition. All directors general in the Ministry of Information, Innovation, Science and Technology, please rise for recognition. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister, Budget and Economic Planning was 3 minutes away from this venue when he got a call from the presidency to attend to other national issues and has therefore sent his apologies. He would have been here himself in order to grace this event. Distinguished Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu is the Honorable Minister, Budget and Economic Planning. Please, he deserves a round of applause in absentia. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now swing into action and see how we work with time. The first activity is no other than a welcome address that will be said by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. Herself is the chairperson of the Technical Committee on Innovation, Science and Technology. Put your hands together for the workaholic Mrs. Iswabanga Nko Asaye for doing a wonderful job right from Monday. You're highly welcome, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege for me to my chairman, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, Senator Aminu Iyaba. Sir, you are welcome. The Chairman, House Committee on Science Research Institute, Honorable Dr. Timehi Adelegbe. Sir, you are welcome. The Chairman, House Committee on Science Engineering, Right Honorable Inu Agaba. The representative of the Secretary to Government of the Federation, my only brother, Dr. Maurice Mberi, OON, NPOM, amongst other titles that used to intimidate us in the office of Secretary to Government of the Federation. My amiable principal, the Honorable Minister of Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, Sir Chief Geoffrey Uche Nnaji. Sir, you are welcome. We thank God for joining mercies. I welcome my sister, the Ambassador of Cuba, Mrs. Miriam Pelmaro, the Deputy Head of the Mission of Japan, Ambassador Hitoshi, the representative of the Commandant General of Nigerian Civil Defense, you are welcome. The honorable commissioners from our various states, we thank God for bringing you all hale and hearty to Abuja, 14th of May 2024. The directors of the ministries, departments, and agencies, especially Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, the Director Generals, Chief Executive of their agencies, amongst others, the diplomatic corps, we welcome you all. For the want of time, I might not be able to go around to call everybody according to how we feel so deeply honored that you have prioritized your time to be with us today. You are all welcome. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the media crew who have been with us since on Sunday, thank you so much for making out time to be here with us. It is my great honor to stand before this distinguished assembly of leaders, innovators, and policymakers of this prestigious 22nd edition of the National Council on Innovation, Science, and Technology. Today marks a pivotal moment in our nation's journey to development as we gather unitedly to harness the transformative power of innovation, technological advancement to drive the national progress and prosperity of our nation. A moment to reflect on how far we have come and, more importantly, take decisive steps towards realizing a Nigeria of our dream, a Nigeria that is at a cutting edge of global technological and scientific achievement. Let me express my profound gratitude to my amiable principal, the Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, for his visionary leadership. Under his stewardship, the ministry has emerged as a central hub and force in Nigeria's development, championing innovation, science and technology as essential pillars of economic and social progress. His commitment to ensuring that science, technology, and innovation is not just a policy priority, but a practical tool for transformative change has set us on a path to creating an innovation-driven economy that benefits every Nigerian. I will also wish to extend my deepest appreciation to the members of the National Assembly. Your unwavering support and active roles in shaping policies that foster innovation, research and technological development have been instrumental in creating a conducive environment for progress. This summit is not just about policies or programs. It is a call to action towards creating a dynamic ecosystem where all sectors, including public, private, academia, civil society, and government, work together towards a common goal, which is to build a Nigeria that thrives on ingenuity of its people and the potential of its resources. This collaboration is not luxury, but a necessity as we look to leverage the power of science, technology, and innovation to tackle the complex challenges that confront us, such as unemployment, insecurity, climate change, economic diversification, amongst others. The theme of this Council Summit, Research, Develop, Innovate, and Commercialize, a cycle for national prosperity, captures the very essence of what we must do as a nation. It is a reminder that science and technology are not isolated practices, but interconnected processes that may seamlessly work together to deliver tangible results. Research lays the foundation for new ideas. Development turns those ideas into solutions. Innovations then transform those solutions into scalable technologies, and commercializations ensure that this innovation reach the marketplace and benefit the society. This cycle is essential in creating jobs, boosting industry, and driving sustainable growth. Over the course of 2 days, A total of 109 memoranda were presented, reflecting diverse inputs from across all sectors of the nation. These memoranda highlighted critical challenges, innovative proposals, and actionable recommendations aimed at strengthening the role of science, technology, and innovation in national development. Key areas of focus included the commercialization of indigenous research, enhancing funding mechanism for the research, development, and innovation capacity building in emerging technologies, improving interagency collaboration, and leveraging on innovation to address sector-specific challenges in health, agriculture, education, energy, politics, amongst others. The richness and diversity of these submissions underscore the growing recognitions of science, technology, and innovation as a cornerstone of Nigeria's sustainable development, and also provide a clear roadmap for aligning national priorities with global trends, whilst ensuring that no sector or region is left behind in innovation agenda. The outcomes of this summit will therefore serve as a blueprint for future initiatives, helping to guide our efforts in ensuring that the benefits of science, technology, and innovation are felt across all sectors of the society. As we move forward, let us assure that our ideas translate into meaningful and actionable solutions. We must commit to fostering an environment where research, development, and innovation are not just celebrated, but actively supported, nurtured, and commercialized to bring about real change. Once again, I sincerely thank you all for invaluable contributions to this summit. I am confident that the ideas, partnership, and commitment forged here will translate into meaningful results as we work together to build a prosperous, resilient, and innovation-driven Nigeria. God bless the science, technology, innovation ecosystem. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The very quintessential, sagacious, and dogged Permanent Secretary, Innovation, Science, and Technology. I think she deserves a louder round of applause. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all you do and for the very effective coordination so far. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, had said that the list is endless. On the top table also, we have the National Coordinator and Chief Executive, Strategy Implementation Task Force for Presidential Executive Order 5, Engineer Dr. Ibiam Ojiejo. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Also, we have the Special Advisor to the Honorable Minister, Innovation, Science, and Technology, who has also been working assiduously to ensure the success of this program, Dr. Robert Ugo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Honorable Commissioner from Benue State, Right Honorable Nick Ewuru. Please put your hands together for Right Honorable Nick Ewuru. You are highly welcome. Let's move on now to goodwill messages, and I will go according to how it is enunciated on the program. So join me to page number 10. Page number 10, as I have the singular honor and rare privilege to invite the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who is ably and brilliantly represented here at this event by the Permanent Secretary, General Services, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Dr. Mbiaderi Morris Namdi, OON, for his goodwill message. Please let's applaud him as he makes his way to the rostrum for his message. You're highly welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, once again. The chairman, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, Senator Aminu Abbas. The chairman, House Committee on Science and Engineering. The chairman, House Committee on Science Research Institute. The chairman, House Committee on Science and Technology. The Honorable Minister, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, my brother, His Excellency, Chief Dr. Uche Nnaji. My sister, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, who alluded to the fact that I intimidated her with a series of titles. Now God give me that too. Thank you so much. Don't be afraid, your own will come by the special grace of God. The members of the diplomatic corps, particularly Her Excellency, the Cuban ambassador to Nigeria and the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, the honorable commissioners from the respective states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the chief executive officers, director generals of various agencies here present, our distinguished resource persons and paper presenters, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, once again I say good morning to all of you. I bring to you a goodwill message of my principal, our boss, His Excellency, Senator Dr. George Akume, CON, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, an ebullient technocrat and politician by excellence. He has asked me to read his goodwill message. Would have loved to be here in person to attend to this very wonderful session today, but for the exigencies of his office, he's unable to make it, and that is why I'm here. So I will be reading his goodwill message at this very auspicious event. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of national responsibility that I extend my goodwill and commendation to the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology for convening the 22nd edition of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology, a council that has consistently proven to be a vital platform for shaping the future of science, technology and innovation in Nigeria. As a nation, the foundation of our journey towards prosperity lies in the capacity to harness knowledge and creativity to develop practical solutions that stimulate industrial growth and enhance the quality of life for all Nigerians. It is within this context that the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, through the articulated 8 priority areas of the Renewed Hope Agenda, aims to reposition Nigeria on a path of inclusive and sustainable development. The theme of this year's council, a quote, research, develop, innovate, and commercialize, a cycle for national prosperity, unquote, is therefore very timely and strategic as it captures a crucial national imperative that sustainable national development can only be achieved when we build a resilient innovation ecosystem where research is purpose-driven, development is solution-oriented, innovation is continuous, and commercialization transforms ideas into tangible impact. This cycle is very essential in addressing real-world challenges and unlocking long-term prosperity. I therefore urge all stakeholders, the academia, industry, and government to strengthen their collaboration and build enduring partnership to drive the full cycle of research, development, innovation, and commercialization. Each sector has a critical role to play. The academic institutions must generate cutting-edge, demand-driven research. Industry must invest in and scale these innovations into viable products and services, while government must continue to provide the enabling environment through sound policies, infrastructures, and strategic funding. We must move from intention to implementation, breaking down silos and fostering a culture of shared responsibility and mutual benefit. Let me assure you that the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation remains committed to supporting cross-sectoral coordination towards ensuring that the outcomes of this council meeting inform national policies and implementation. I think he deserves a round of applause for that. We will continue to advocate for increased investment in research and development, as well as institutional reforms needed to unlock Nigeria's innovation potential. I commend the Honorable Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Chief Uche Geoffrey Nnaji, and of course, my wonderful sister, the able permanent secretary of the ministry, Mrs. Nko Eswaban, and the entire management of the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology for their continued dedication to advancing Nigeria's innovation agenda. I wish you all fruitful deliberations and a successful council meeting. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the rep of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud him one more time. Thank you very much. We have just joining us, of course, a call was put across. The representative of the Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology himself is the Deputy Clerk of the House, here representing the Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology. Please, let's put our hands together for Ukachukwu Chidebere. You're highly welcome, and he also has a goodwill message to deliver when the time comes. So let me tweak the order of presentation for very strategic reasons, then invite the Chairman himself, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, distinguished Senator Aminu Iya Abbas, to please come for his goodwill message. You're highly welcome, the distinguished Senator, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Innovation, Science and Technology. It's always a delight to have you join us at fora like this. You're highly welcome, sir.
Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, my colleagues, Chairman of the House of Science, Technology, Innovation, Engineering, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the already well-established protocols. We're here today to celebrate innovation, research, development, and commercialization in Nigeria. This is the 22nd council meeting of science, innovation, technology. From our part at the National Assembly, I am bringing goodwill from the Senate. The Senate President and the entire Senate wish this 22nd meeting a successful one. And any country that abandons research and innovation has abandoned development of the country. The purpose of research, innovation, commercialization, and so on, is for our people to see it on ground. If you cannot innovate, and our people will not get benefit of it when it is commercialized, then the purpose of research and development is defeated. We always say this at any fora I attend. I always give my support for commercialization of our innovations, for commercialization of our researches. We shouldn't just abandon them in the lab. We should do whatever it takes to ensure we take it to the market. And that is the only way our people will now have the benefit of all the work we are doing. On our part, we continue giving support in the governance of institutions of science and technology innovation in Nigeria. We are ready, we are partners with the ministry and all stakeholders in this aspect. I will continue to give our support, and that is why today you see almost all of us are here in the National Assembly, all the chairmen. This is only the first time you see all the chairmen coming for a program in this country, seeing 3-4 chairmen at one place. And that's how we hold this very important institution and very important program. We'll continue to give our support, we'll continue to give our legislative backing of all the activities of the ministry and the agencies. I wish you a very fruitful discussion. I hope the outcome of today's meeting, or the 3 days meeting, will be beneficial to our people. I mean, on the main streets, not in the offices. Thank you. May God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
He deserves a bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, distinguished Senator Aminu Abbas. Thank you so much, sir, for your leadership and legislative dexterity at every point in time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud him for those kind words and for giving us the leadership that the innovation, science, and technology ecosystem deserves at all times. Thank you very much, sir, for all that you have said. So moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's have a break in protocol and observe a group photograph. All the members on the top table will be having a group photograph. That's because the distinguished senator, the chairman, Senate Committee on Science and Technology, has all that very pressing national assignments to attend to, and he had to come here for the import and the importance he has attached to a ceremony of this magnitude. Thank you very much, sir. We are honored to have you. We wish you journey mercies to your destination at this point in time. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. The Permanent Secretary, of course, the DG NASRDA, doing well to see the distinguished senator off to his vehicle. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is very hospitable when it comes to things like this. We have Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Cuba to Nigeria, Mrs. Miriam Morales Palmero. It is therefore my honor and rare privilege to now invite her to please step forward for her goodwill message. Please put your hands together for Her Excellency, Mrs. Miriam Morales Palmero, the Ambassador of Cuba to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You're highly welcome, Your Excellency, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. I want to to say it like Nigeria, permitted state protocol. Dear Minister, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Cuban people, government, and scientific community, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Nigerian Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology for the kind invitation to participate in the second meeting of the National Council of Innovation, Science and Technology. We extend our warm congratulations to both the members of the Ministry and the distinguished member of the National Council for the holding on this important meeting. We will understanding contributed to strengthen the country's scientific and technology development. In today's world, the science, technology, and innovation sector represents a fundamental pillar of economic growth, technological sovereignty, and the solution to the major challenge facing our nations. Nigeria, with its human and natural potential, plays a key role in this scenario. Cuba, historically recognized for its advance in areas such as biotechnology, medicine, and scientific research, has a deep interest in strengthening cooperation ties with Nigeria in these strategic sectors. We believe that the working together, both countries can achieve great progress for the benefit of our peoples. Great opportunities will open up if we join up efforts and knowledge impulse of common development. We reiterate Cuba's willingness to work on actions with the framework of the MOU to strengthen collaboration in science, technology, and innovation signed by the ministers of Cuba and Nigeria on September 16, 2003, with the aim of continuing to strengthen the bond of friendship for the benefit of our nation. I take this opportunity, ministers, to pay tribute to the former minister, Obasanjo, for having taken the first step in our relation. We are here as ambassador of Cuba. It's not my first time in Nigeria. I've been before. And we made the effort for continue to strengthen our relationship. We're signing an MOU with NASRDA in terms of put in this great nation as Nigeria is, all development that Cuba have in science, biotechnology, and in the all pharmaceutical field. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Cuba to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much. Apart from the bilateral relationship that exists between Nigeria and Cuba, Cuba and Nigeria share a very similar, rich cultural heritage. Please put your hands together for Her Excellency, once again, the Ambassador of Cuba to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In similar fashion, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me now invite the Ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, here represented by the Deputy Head of Mission and Counselor, Embassy of Japan in Nigeria, Mr. Hitoshi Kusaki. Please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, everyone. Excellencies, honorable ministers. I'm honored to be here for this important meeting of the Council today. Of course, the science, technology, and innovation is key for the sustainable development and provide basis for the peace and security in the region and the continent. Japan also put the premium on the science, technology, and innovation, and we want to see the further collaboration in this area between our two countries. Japanese companies are operating in Nigeria. We'd like to seek the further opportunity to work closely with the Nigerian counterpart, and Japanese Research Institute are looking forward to the opportunity to exchange views on the future collaboration in this area. So we have a lot to discuss, a lot to work with. Let's begin. Today is the first day, of the collaboration. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity to address before you. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much from the People's Republic of Japan. Please put your hands together for the Deputy Head of Mission who has represented the Ambassador of Japan to Nigeria. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, the next to speak is the Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology, Honorable Zakaria Tijani Zana, who is here ably and ebulliently represented at this August event by Ukachukwu Chidebere, a Deputy Clerk of the House. Please put your hands together for him as he comes to represent his principal. You're welcome.
Good morning, the Honorable Minister. Good morning, the Permanent Secretary. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. While standing on the existing protocol, please let me respectfully acknowledge my bosses from the National Assembly, the Senator A. Abbas that has left, and my own chairman. I always call him the best chairman of the 10th Assembly, Honorable Zakaria Tijani. Also here present is Honorable Gaba. He's a senior brother, not just a chairman to House Committee of Science Engineering. And the last but not the least is Honorable Adelebe Timehi, the chairman of House Committee on Science Research Institution. This is a goodwill message that I have been directed to read, so I'll just stick to it strictly and deliver the message as you have been directed. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of responsibility that I extend my warmest greetings and goodwill to all present at the 22nd National Council of Innovation, Science and Technology. This annual gathering is a pivotal moment in our collective effort to chart the course for the future of science, technology, and innovation, STI, in Nigeria. The theme of this year's section, Research, Develop, Innovate, and Commercialize, a circle of national prosperity, resonates strongly with the vision we all share for the advancement of our great nation. It emphasizes the critical importance of bridging the gap between scientific research, technological development, innovation, and their commercialization. It is through this circle that we can unlock Nigeria's vast potential, enhance our global competitiveness, and ensure sustainable economic growth for all Nigerians. As a second highest national policy-making body of STI at the sub-national level, NCIST plays a crucial role in steering the direction of our innovation landscape. I commend the Council for its steadfast dedication to fast-track scientific and technological progress. This meeting not only provides a platform to review our achievements, but also to reflect on the challenges that persist, and more importantly, to identify innovative solutions that will accelerate our journey towards national prosperity. Our world is evolving at an unprecedented pace, driven by groundbreaking advancement in science and technology. To stay ahead, we must continue to foster an ecosystem where research and development are not only prioritized, but also seamlessly transitioned into commercialized ventures that create jobs, drive industry, and address our local and global needs. It is also through strategic partnership between government, academia, industry, and the private sector that we can truly harness the transformative power of innovation. As we deliberate on the key issues before us in this program, I encourage all stakeholders to remain committed to policy and strategies that will promote seamless integration of innovation into all sectors of our economy, from agriculture to manufacturing, healthcare, education, and beyond. Let us remember that each innovation holds the potential to improve lives, create opportunities, and build a more prosperous future for our children and generations to come. In closing, I reaffirm the House of Representatives' unwavering commitment to supporting the National Council on Innovation, Science, and Technology in its mission to propel Nigeria towards a knowledge-driven economy. We stand ready to collaborate, provide legislative backing, and advocate for necessary resources to transform our nation into a global leader in innovation and technology. I wish you all a productive and inspiring session. May the deliberation and outcome of this important gathering help steer Nigeria towards a brighter and more prosperous future. Thank you. God bless STI sector. God bless the House of Representatives, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the representative of the Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology. Please, let's applaud him one more time. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we are making progress. Let me now invite, very specially, the Chairman, House Committee on Science Research Institute, Honorable Dr. Timehin Adelebe, for his goodwill message. You're highly welcome, sir. It's a delight to have you at this venue for this national assignment. You're welcome, sir.
Let's say good morning or afternoon. It is exactly 12 noon. Yes, let me stand on the existing protocol because it has been well late. This is a message from me, Timei Adelebe. I represent our federal constituency. Let me tell you my route. It's a pleasure staying here. Distinguished senators, esteemed honorable colleagues, head of agencies, members of scientific and innovation community, ladies and gentlemen. It is a profound honor to deliver this good message at the 22nd meeting of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. On behalf of the House Committee on Science Research Institute, I extend my warm greetings and commend the Council's unwavering commitment to advancing Nigeria's scientific and technological landscape. The theme of this year's meeting, Research, Develop, Innovate, and Commercialize, a cycle for national prosperity, encapsulate the essential continuum that drive sustainable economic growth and national development. This cycle underscores the transformative ideas into tangible solutions, fostering self-reliance and enhancing our global competitiveness. Let me quickly say that any research done or innovate that doesn't get to the people is more or less a useless innovation. So let us think, not only researching or innovating, let's try as much as possible to get this thing to the market. In recent times, Nigeria has witnessed significant strides in science, technology, and innovation sector. Notably, the federal government's reaffirmation of its commitment to fostering scientific research, innovation, and investment aims to position our nation as a global leader in scientific advancement by 2030. Initiatives such as the implementation of the revised science, technology, and innovation policy are pivotal to revitalizing our STI ecosystem, fostering fundamental orientation, and positioning Nigeria among global leaders. As a legislator, we recognize that STI is not merely an optional tool, but an indispensable catalyst for national development. The House Committee on Science Research Institution is dedicated to formulating supporting policies, legislative framework, and budgetary provision that will empower our research institutions. Our goal is to foster innovative environment and facilitate the seamless commercialization of homegrown solutions. We are cognizant of the challenges impeding the smooth transition of research output into marketable products and services. Therefore, we pledge to collaborate with relevant stakeholders to eliminate structural and funding bottlenecks. By investing in knowledge creation and ensuring its translation into tangible socio-economic benefits, we can unlock the full potential of our nation's prosperity. I would like to appreciate Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his renewed hope agenda, which brought about the Honorable Minister of Information, Science and Technology Chief, Uche Kofi Nanji, a visionary leader and unwavering advocate for advancing Nigerian science and technology landscape. His efforts, including the launch of initiatives like the National Research Innovation Fund, the Industrial Innovation Fund, are instrumental in strengthening Nigeria's innovation landscape. Also, my gratitude goes to the ministry, participating institutions, and developmental partners for their unwavering dedication to the STI sector. Your joint efforts are crucial in advancing the nation's innovation agenda. As you convey over the few last days, I hope all the engagements are in meaningful dialogues, share insights, and formulate actionable strategies that will refine the role of innovation in our national development agenda. Let this gathering catalyze renewed collaboration, bold strategies, and actionable solutions. Rest assured that the House Committee on Science Research Institutions, under the leadership of the Speaker, Right Honorable Tajiri Abbas, GCL, stands in solidarity with you. Together, we can create a resilient, inclusive, and prosperous Nigeria, fully harnessing the potential of science and technology. Thank you, and I wish you all fruitful deliberation. God bless, and God bless the Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Chairman House Committee on Science Research Institute, Honorable Dr. Timehim Adelugbe. Please put your hands together for him once again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being very cooperative. We are getting to the climax of the event in a very short while. Let me now invite for his goodwill message the Chairman House Committee on Science and Engineering, Right Honorable Inua Gaba. Please put your hands together for him as he makes his way to the rostrum for his goodwill message. Again, his presence here underscores the importance attached to innovation, science, and technology in Nigeria. You're highly welcome, the Right Honorable.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The Chairman House Senate Committee on Science and Tech, my colleague, the two chairmen of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Minister, distinguished and honorable colleagues from the ministry and other parastatals of science, innovation, and engineering, our development partners and diplomatic corps, representatives from various states, ladies and gentlemen, let me start by thanking God Almighty Allah for giving us this opportunity to converge in order to witness this very important occasion. It is with great pleasure and I convey my goodwill message and commendation to the distinguished members of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. As you organize this meeting with the theme, Research, Development, Innovate and Commercialize a cycle of national priority. This year's theme demonstrates the Council's unwavering determination in addressing the current challenges faced with the sector and also taking advantage of its numerous opportunities, such as drastically reducing the nation's over-dependency on oil, offering our teeming youth population employment opportunity, increasing our country's rating, and putting us on the global map for more foreign direct investments. Research and development is a field that should not be taken for granted. Most countries such as Japan, China, Cuba, and to mention but a few, are investing billions of dollars in research and development because of its economic viability. This is the next goal. Honestly, I make it very, very key and important to be here because I am unfortunately become a politician. I have passion for innovation. As I'm standing before you, I am the first person among the 200 million people to not only innovate, but to make sure that I establish the first POP factory in Nigeria. I am the first indigenous company to do that, and we use our local technology to innovate, and our product is in the market. And I am sponsoring some research and innovation by individuals. As I'm talking to you, I'm funding a research that can even compete favorably with Elon Musk, if not better. If not better. Because we want to be the first country on earth to produce vehicles that run on air. On air. And we are just running our models. The first. Because air is the most available, the most friendly natural resources. Tesla is using battery. We don't need battery. We use only air. The air we are inhaling, the air, to run our vehicles. And we can do more than that. This space is versatile. As the second highest policy-making body on science, technology, and innovation, STI, I believe this esteemed assembly stands as a testament in advancing the nation's scientific inquiry, technological innovation, and sustainable development, because the deliberations and solutions that emerge from this meeting will have far-reaching implications for our national progress, economic resilience, and global competitiveness. In the era defined by rapid technological transformation, the role of science and technology in shaping policies, improving livelihood, and addressing complex societal challenges cannot be overemphasized. Honorable Minister, let me challenge the government, or provoke the government, or give an insight to this government. There is no country, no history of any country on the earth that fight insurgency with bombs and guns. What we are fighting there, we are wasting our resources. From that 1 billion years, we cannot succeed. Why? Because it's a guerrilla warfare. You don't have common front with your enemies. If you carry bomb and guns, you are going to donate them because they are more intelligent than you. For a guerrilla warfare to succeed, they must have to have edge over your system. That's why Boko Harams, they are illiterates, they are few. We are wasting billions or trillions of dollars every year, and we can't defeat them. The best, simple, easier way to fight them is technology. Honorable Minister, you are the commandant now. You are the general. Talk to the president. If you want the clue and you need the insight, we have Nigerians. Some are even, they not even go to the school. They don't go to the 4 walls of the secondary or primary schools. but they have the natural intelligence and knowledge to tell us how we can utilize our innovation and defeat those criminals that are bedeviling their nation. I give you this to provoke the entire system, because as I see, it's the second highest body to determine how and why and what the science and tech can do for our country and for our neighboring countries. It is my earnest prayers that the council's deliberations and resolutions be insightful, strategic, and impactful, charting a new course that will strengthen our national capabilities and secure a brighter knowledge-driven future for all. Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity given to the Committee on Science and Engineering to participate, and we are ready to partake. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your thought-provoking insights and statements. Please put your hands together once again for the Chairman, House Committee on Science and Engineering, Right Honorable Inua Garba. Thank you so much, sir. Copious attention has been taken on the things that you have stated. Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this event has been floating from a region of lower concentration, and gradually we are getting to a region of higher concentration. But as the master of ceremony, I want to bring us down back to where we began. We have been too serious. Let's now invite a cultural troupe that will be performing in the next 7 to 10 minutes. They call themselves the Max Production Theatre, a cultural group here to display and also express the rich cultural heritage of the good people of Nigeria. If your hands are not too busy, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, through the chair, the Honorable Minister, I wish to invite the Max Production for 7 to 10 minutes to thrill us with so much of cultural displays. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We can, in between the presentation, applaud them with applauses to encourage them as they do what they know how to do best. When we are done with this cultural display, we will go straight to the paper presentation, then invite the Honorable Minister for the crux of the matter. Max Production. Please, you can applaud them. Put your hands together for them. Put your hands together for them. Appreciate them. The rich cultural heritage of the Nigerian people. Of course, the Honorable Minister is conversant with those steps from the southeastern region of Nigeria. Of course, as a Red Cap chief, the Honorable Minister knows what to do. This is science and technology and culture. My brother, you are doing well. You are in the right place. The DG Nibu sending building materials. And the DG NASRDA sending space science and technology to him. He was asked to come back. Go back, my brother. And the ambassador of Cuba sending bilateral relationship. And the ambassador of Japan to Nigeria sending what he knows how to do best. Okay. The man from Benue State, unfortunately, no one from Benue State on the table. You can locate your commissioner from Benue State. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation is from Benue State. Approach the representative now. My brother, if you are listening to me, let me change your destiny. The SGF is from Benue State. And the Permanent Secretary from the SGF's office is from Benue State. That is Benue State now. The food basket of the nation. Dr. Maurice Nnamdi, you know exactly what to do, sir. Congratulations. My brother, you don't do. The Cuban ambassador is so excited. Like I said, Cuba has a very rich cultural heritage in Nigeria. And to the ambassador of Cuba, she has a familiar terrain with all that's going on here. I was thinking the lady from the south side will approach the permanent secretary. I don't know why she didn't do that. It is better late than never. The permanent secretary is seeing what she likes. My beautiful sister from Cross River State. But if you do, I was thinking the Southwest region will meet the DG NASRDA. Well, wisdom is profitable to direct. The permanent secretary is now knowing what to do. You see, that's from the South, Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. The DG NASRDA supporting the permanent secretary. Fantastic. Now we are doing well. And the minister is also joining. The SGF is joining. The ambassador from Cuba is joining. The ambassador from Japan is joining. I would have joined, but for security reasons, I will not join now. The rich cultural heritage of Nigeria. Congratulations. The mass production. The mass production, thank you very much. Please put your hands together for the mass production. Thank you very much. If your geopolitical zone was not reflected here, you need to see NASRDA. We refer you to the strategic space applications. I will have to locate where you come from. If you are truly a Nigerian, You could see the ambassador of Cuba so excited because we share so many similarities in our rich cultural heritage. Once again, put your hands together for all the dignitaries on the top table who have actually appreciated the dance troupe. Thank you very much. We have now relaxed like I wanted it to be. Let's go back to business. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For the paper presentation, I will be inviting a professor of no mean repute, a cosmopolitan vanguard of tertiary education in Africa, a seasoned academic and scholar. Today, he is the president of the African University of Science and Technology. I know you will be thrilled because I've heard him in different fora. Professor A.P. Onwalu is our guest lecturer this day. Please put your hands together for him as he takes the stage. The professor, you're highly welcome.
Thank you. I think my brother, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Innovation, Science and Technology, and SGF, represented by the PAMSEC, permit me to, is it adopt or stand? What do we say in Nigeria? To stand on existing protocols. I think my job this afternoon has been made very simple by the dancers we just saw. Because what I planned to do was to enlighten us again about research, development, innovation, commercialization. But watching this dance, I asked myself, what else can explain innovation more than what we have just seen? In a country where we think we are divided across ethnic lines, somebody has put this together to see the same dance being danced by different people from different... can we please appreciate these dancers again? Another thing that I noted was the instruments they were using. I am sure they are all made in Nigeria. I don't think any of them is imported. I was just watching the man blowing the, what do we call it? Is that trumpet or what? Flute. Which musical instrument? This. So thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In a couple of minutes, and I want to apologize if you don't have copies. I believe that the organizers of this will share this online so people can get copies of this presentation. So don't worry about what I'm going to give you is just a very, very abridged version of what I put down, because I'm mindful that the Honorable Minister will be speaking shortly after my own speech. But permit me to start this discussion with what I call the paradox of the Nigerian economy. The last time I checked, this country has GDP in excess of $300 billion US, and is reputed to be among the 4th largest economies in Africa. We used to be the 1st. And not too bad, we're probably 53rd in the world. And this country is highly endowed with natural resources. We are also the most populous country in Africa. In terms of natural resources, the Ministry of Solid Minerals will tell you that we have over 44 commercially available minerals. Ministry of Agriculture can tell you we have over 20 cash crops. Not to talk of our water and energy resources and other natural resources. Even on the ICT lane, we are reputed to be one of the fastest growing ICT sectors in the world. In terms of money, and I'm not saying this because I'm from Anambra, but we know that Nigeria is home to a large number of billionaires, and actually Nigeria hosts the world's richest black man. It is one of the leading countries in Africa in terms of innovation hubs. I'm sure Professor Google can tell you that. There are probably more innovation hubs in Nigeria than all the countries of Africa put together. It also has the highest number of knowledge centers with over 280 universities. Maybe before we go home, we'll license more today. Probably over 200 polytechnics and over 500 research institutions. These are wonderful positive indices of development. But remember, I started my discussion with the paradox. And I'll just give one or two negative indices that are coexisting side by these positive indices. We have very low per capita income. We are 167th out of 199 countries in the world. We are ranked with third place among countries where you can find the world's poorest people. The economy is import-oriented, where finished goods and services and industrial raw materials are all imported in this country. And I can tell you that because for 8 years, I tried to solve that problem of importation of raw materials. Oil and gas account for over 90% of our foreign exchange earnings, and you can go on and on and on. Those of us in academics, we like flouting the Global Competitiveness Index by the World Economic Forum. We are ranked 125 or 125th out of 137 countries. I'm sure if this was an exam, we have failed. And you can go on and on and on. We are 162nd out of 199 in all the economies of the world, if you use the UNDP Human Development Index. So as a result of the above, you will agree with me that every sector of the Nigerian economy is operating below optimum. And the question is, why is it that even with all the natural resources and numerous development programs embarked upon in the past, majority of us live below the poverty line? And permit me to say, Your Excellencies, that the answer lies in our inability to develop and apply innovations in our development process in a sustainable manner. Not that we don't apply, but we don't apply that in a sustainable manner. Basically, we have not been able to evolve a functional national system of innovation based on either the triple helix concept or the quadruple concept, the model as shown in those figures. But let's talk about prosperity, since that is the major thing we want to discuss today. A nation's prosperity is determined by its economic wealth, natural resources, technological advancements, and more importantly, cultural and societal values held by its citizens. And these are illustrated in the graphical sketch that is there. But as we have seen from the paradox that I talked about, there is empirical evidence that our development efforts have not led to national prosperity. Even in a few cases where there has been some green light of prosperity, that has not been sustainable. And you can see this all over. I think 25 years ago, when I came to Abuja for the first time as a young man, I drove myself all the way from Nsukka to Abuja without stopping. Today, I don't think I've traveled by road in the last 5 years to the east for obvious reasons. That's what we talk about, sustainability of prosperity. So what is prosperity? Prosperity for any nation must include a number of things. It must include things that work: governance, education, health, safety and security, personal freedom, social capital, and so on. And I ask, can we say that we have national prosperity? I think the answer is in the negative. In fairness to our leaders, ladies and gentlemen, whether they are past or present leaders, it's not as if we have not been doing anything. We've had our first, second, third, and fourth national development plans. We've had numerous development plans and programs, including NEETs, ERGP, National Development Plan, and so on. And currently, we are implementing the Renewed Hope Agenda. If you haven't read that document, please, I invite you to read the excellent plan put together by the current administration towards returning this country to the path of prosperity and progress. But the truth is that even with all the interventions, we don't seem to be getting to where we should be. And so we must, at this point, ask some relevant questions. And I listed quite a number of them. I'll just ask one or two. In all our development efforts, including the ones we are doing now, both at the national and subnational levels, the few questions I want to raise. One, what is the local content of these projects? How many components of the power plants, transmission and distribution lines are actually built in Nigeria? What part of the rail system and coaches currently used by the Nigerian Railway Corporation are made in Nigeria by Nigerians? It goes on and on and on. Today, as an academic, we are all talking about artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, drones, UAVs, smart systems, smart sensors, electric vehicles, and so on. And all those technologies that are associated with Industry 4.0 or Industry 5.0, as the case may be. How many of the new medical facilities, including hospitals, hospital equipment, drug manufacturing systems, and so on, how many of them originate from our country? And we can go on and on. The negative answers to the above questions can be reversed if we consciously embed research, develop, innovate, commercialize cycle principle in our development process. And I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology and others who coined this thing, RDIC. And I was just flipping through while I seated here. I was flipping through the memos, all the memos that are in the document for this council. And it reminded me that I think it was in 2005 that I became a member of this council as the DG of Raw Material Council. And I still see a large number of innovations. Well, they may not be full innovations, things that are done by our research sector. And this is only the research institute sector. If you bring the universities, polytechnics, and other knowledge centers, you actually have a large number of potential innovations that can be commercialized. And I tell myself, if since the National Council on Science and Technology, since it started, we've been able to commercialize just 20% of all the innovations we are listing, I believe that this country would have changed. So, we need to come back to ourselves and ask the relevant questions. Because RDIC, that is research, develop, innovate, and commercialize, that cycle is actually the engine for prosperity. The strength of a national RDIC system lies in the seamless integration with the national system of innovation. And this doesn't happen by chance. Where the national system of innovation has driven development, it didn't happen by chance. And you can see this in all the developed countries of Europe, North America, and the Asian tigers. So, looking at this concept, research, develop, innovate, and commercialize, and I think those who spoke before me have given us some definitions of what research is. But sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that only professors or people with PhDs do research. It is not true. Research is everywhere. Even in that market where somebody is putting together something that he can put together to sell, that is research. I remember one of the research we did at some point. It was about spices, and it was a company in Onitsha. And I asked the chairman of that company, how did you come about what you are doing? He has a gigantic factory in Onitsha making just spices. He said he learned everything from his mother, who was selling food in wheelbarrow. What he now did after school was to study what the mother was doing to produce the spices that made her mother special in Onitsha. And that's the genesis of the big factory he had on Owerri Road. He has on Owerri Road in Onitsha. So research is not just what we do in the laboratories, but what every human being does to improve one thing or the other. But if you do research, like one of the honorable members said, if you do research and it doesn't lead to something, well, he said it is useless. But I beg to differ a little bit, because you can also have what you call fundamental research, which actually fits into applied research. But research must move from research to development. And you can only develop what you have researched if you have the tools and the equipment. And many a time, we blame ourselves unnecessarily. We say universities are just doing research and keeping in their labs. Research institutes are doing research and keeping in their labs. But development work, as you begin to move from research to development, you are now moving from research environment to industry. And that is why government in its wisdom has established a number of agencies. In the Ministry of Science, Innovation, Science and Technology, I'm sure the Honorable Minister will have over 20 parastatals, including NASRDA, where we are today. But if you go to other ministries, Ministry of Agric, they may even have more than we have in science and technology. Ministry of Education, and so on and so forth. So these are agencies of government that should now move from research to development, working with the knowledge centers and of course industry. But again, when you develop prototypes and you are not able to convert them to innovation, again, they are useless. They will just be like myself, who will publish 200, 300 publications without any of them translating into goods and services. And that is why innovation is important. So innovation realm is about moving from research, development, and then moving to innovation, producing goods and services. And this is an area that Nigeria, I believe, is doing very well. You can see the wave of innovations coming out in the area of fintech, in the area of agri-tech, and so on and so forth. Our young men and women are really doing well in these sectors because you will see a number of startups and they are coming out almost on a daily basis. Then commercialization. If you look through the council memos, you see quite a number of things that people are doing, but unless these things are commercialized, they remain where they are. I'm one of those who has moved almost full cycle. I think I've moved full cycle. I started from in academics, went to NASENI. From NASENI, I went to raw materials. I even went to NUC, the National Universities Commission, and now I'm back to the classroom. Because even as a vice chancellor, I still teach in the university where I work. And one of the things I told myself when I got back to the university is that all our researches must be commercializable, and we must look for means to commercialize them. I'm one of those who has started a university innovation hub. And what that hub is doing is to look for innovations from anywhere, whether from our students or faculty or from anywhere, towards commercializing them to become goods and services. Of course, there are challenges. So how do we integrate research, develop, innovate, and commercialize? How do we integrate this cycle into our development strategies? And I will just list a number of them. We must increase our national R&D spending to 3% of our GDP. Currently, we are operating at a level of less than 1%. And you can see those countries that spend over 3% of their GDP on R&D, you can see where they are today. Countries like Israel, South Korea, and a number of countries like that. They are leaders of tech. We must build new, more research, development, innovation, and commercialization clusters and hubs through the integration of academia, industry, and startups in our project initiatives. What that means is that in everything we are doing, we must factor in all these. There is nothing wrong with having startup ecosystems in every institution. We should not wait. We keep complaining private sector is not paying attention. We can actually do it ourselves. But of course, the private sector must come in. We must incentivize private sector engagement through co-funding schemes and tax reliefs. Every businessman, every industrial sector is there to make profit. And the only way you can encourage them to go into R&D is to give them some incentives. Unfortunately for us, we know that most of the large-scale industries we have their parent companies abroad. And so the only thing we can do is to encourage them. If they know that they will get some incentives, I believe that they will do more in the area of research. We must commend the number of large-scale industries who are supporting research and development. We must strengthen our IP laws and technology transfer centers. I know the ministry through NOTA has been establishing technology transfer centers in universities, but this needs to continue with increased funding. We should intentionally create and drive talent pipelines by focusing on skills education, research fellowships, entrepreneurship training, and mentorship schemes. During our convocation in my university in January this year, we gave some awards to some new startups. And guess what? One of the winners was a 100-level mechanical engineering female student. Just about 3 months in the university and then doing things in the innovation hub. She was able to win a climate change challenge with practical solutions to climate change problems. 100 level. You can imagine how this can happen if these kids are given the kind of skills and knowledge they require. Some of us went through school without acquiring these skills, but things must change because technology is changing on a daily basis. We must encourage global integration through supporting international collaboration and export-led innovation. There should be more efforts in the area of research communication to ensure that results of research are communicated to end users. And this is really very important. I know that most of the things we have here in this council are not even known by Nigerians. You still see Nigerians, and I interact a lot with businessmen and women. They don't get the impression that we can do anything as researchers or innovators. And so whenever they have the funds to do something, they have to leave, either go to India or China or somewhere to bring in the technologies. Whereas there are prototypes of those technologies in Nigeria. So we need to do a lot in the area of science communication. Incidentally, there is a conference coming up in December on science communication. I believe that this is really very important. The RDIC cycle should be institutionalized in national, subnational, regional, and zonal planning levels. In most cases, and I'm happy that the commissioners of science and technology are here, in most cases, we sing this rhetoric. The federal government should do this, federal government should do that. And I challenge some of the governors, some of our excellencies, the ones I know. And I say, do you know that some of our states are bigger in terms of land, in terms of resources, in terms of everything, bigger than most countries in other African countries? And I tell you, there is a project I'm handling on strengthening research and innovation ecosystems in 6 West African countries, funded by IDRC of Canada. And that has taken me to a number of countries in West Africa. And what I saw, because we now help them to start their own, to have their own STI policies and then have their own research and innovation fund. Many of these countries do not have what we have in our states. They are like maybe FCT or Lagos State. Of course, they can't be as big as Lagos State. And so I want to challenge our governors that as we are encouraging the federal government to take the issue of RDIC seriously, at the subnational level, we must also prioritize science, technology, and innovation. And I think, in my own understanding, I don't know if that has changed, it's only Lagos State. I don't know if they're here. I'm not marketing Lagos State, but I'm aware that Lagos State actually has a research and innovation council from where they support innovations in their system. There is no reason why state governments should not do this. And today, almost every zone, I think every zone now has a development commission. This should be prioritized into their development agenda. Finally, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for all the above to work in a systematic and sustainable manner, we should operationalize the National Research and Innovation Council to coordinate RDIC efforts that are listed above, as envisaged in the STI policy. I haven't peeked into the Honorable Minister's speech, but I'm sure he will tell us something about this. And I'm very, very passionate about this because for more than 30 years, we've been working on this, those who are old enough in the STI family. We know that the Academy of Science, Academy of Engineering, and other academies have been working with the ministry and other stakeholders to have the STI policy of Nigeria operationalized. And the key component of this, and you will see it in the last chapter of the STI policy of Nigeria, the key component is the operational establishment and operationalization of the National Research and Innovation Council that will be accompanied by the National Research and Innovation Fund. Of course, we already have some funding mechanisms, such as the one done by TED Fund and other organizations, Content Monitoring Board, and so on. These are good efforts, but we need a National Research and Innovation Council and National Research and Innovation Fund. I'm happy to say that I've seen or I've listened to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at least 2 times where he made proclamation that this will be done. And I'm sure a lot is going on. I understand there is now an interministerial committee to actualize this. But I'm only saying in my submission that the process for actualizing this NRIC, or whatever name it will come with, this process should be fast-tracked because already we are behind schedule. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is not just about a national research fund. If you look at the bill, because a number of stakeholders have actually come up with a draft bill, it contains everything we need to do to be able to drive innovation, drive research, drive commercialization for national prosperity. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the research, development, innovation, and commercialization cycle is not, the components of this cycle are not just isolated activities, but they are interconnected and they operate in a strategic cycle. For Nigeria to achieve national prosperity, it must invest systematically in each stage or component, breaking the silos that we have, building partnerships among government, private sector, industry, and academia. With the right policy environment and infrastructure and human capital, FDIC can drive inclusive, sustainable economic transformation and hence national prosperity. And infrastructure is really very, very key. Permit me to just say 1 or 2 things about infrastructure. I have a project that I'm the team lead. That project is funded by one of the agencies in STI family, that is NASRDA. And this project is about commercialization. All the work we've been doing in the area that they gave us the grant on, we have produced PhDs and so on. The challenge we are given is to commercialize and have products. But I tell you, anytime we go to the point of building machines, it's still a problem. We have to go as far as Onitsha to look for components of machines. And even when you see them, they're all imported. So at the end of the day, I keep asking myself, what has happened to this economy? How is it that if you want to manufacture a little piece, you will not be able to find somebody who can produce it for you? That is the absence of what we call science and engineering infrastructure. I believe this was why NASRDA was established, and I believe I spent a little time with NASRDA, and this was actually what the late Professor Godian Ezekwe called the missing link in our development efforts. Think of anything, imagine anything, and Nigerians are very, very smart. But design anything today and try to fabricate it. I bet you in Abuja here, the only innovation hub where you can have a maker space is probably Innovate, which is down the road there. So innovation ecosystems are very important. So that if you have an idea, it is not your duty to start doing the fabrication. You can actually call a third party to fabricate that idea for you. So the FDIC cycle is not merely a theoretical framework, but a proven engine for national transformation. Countries that synchronize this cycle achieve not only economic gains, but also technological sovereignty, job creation, and improved quality of life. Strategic investments in each stage align with national priorities and market dynamics will propel a nation towards long-term prosperity. And you can imagine for a minute, if this country has long-term prosperity, will there be words like Japa in our vocabulary? No. Our children will not be looking for where to go. Rather, people will be looking how to come into Nigeria. I'm glad the ambassador from Cuba is here. As a DG, we once had a trip to Cuba. And what we went to study was vaccines. And I must say that what I saw was amazing. There is no other place in this world you can do vaccines better than what you have in Cuba. And I understand it was because of what? Leadership. So, for the RDIC cycle to be actualized in Nigeria, the federal government should speed up the process for actualizing the National Research and Innovation Council and the National Research and Innovation Fund. And I'm saying this because I've read the drafts, and I know that it contains everything we need to have to drive the STI ecosystem. This should be replicated at the subnational levels, namely our states of the Federation, and then the recently established development commissions. And I gave the example. So the commissioners are here, that are here. Challenge your governors. Send memos to your governor. There is no reason why a state government should not have a national research fund to drive innovation. This should be replicated everywhere. Let me also say that private sector participation in these initiatives and the overall RDIC cycle is really very, very important and should be encouraged through policy instruments such as tax reliefs, incentives, and corporate social responsibility recognition. Government must find a way to encourage private sector to pay more attention to research because they are the beneficiaries of the research and innovation that we are talking about. I want to thank you again for inviting me to this council, and I want to challenge all of you, everybody that is here. Look around you. There are innovations that can be commercialized, but we need to take that step. That step is important. And I can tell you, you will smile to the banks. Some of the money I spent today are proceeds from research I did when I was younger that I didn't know will even be yielding money. Thank you very much, and may God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's applaud him one more time. The President of the African University of Science and Technology. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for him for that very powerful speech and address that he has given, speaking on research, develop, innovate, and commercialize a circle for national prosperity. Professor A.P. Onwalu, the President, African University of Science and Technology. Thank you so much, sir, for the clarifications and insights you have brought to bear as far as this conference and summit is concerned. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the crescendo of this event, the climax of it, where we'll be listening to our own give the keynote address. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I describe him as the numero uno of science and technology in Nigeria. He is the lead vanguard of innovation in Nigeria. I also describe him as the amalgam of research and development. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a party stalwart and a very seasoned stakeholder as far as the science technology ecosystem is concerned. An elder statesman and a first-class chief in Igbo land. Today, ladies and gentlemen, he is the chairman of the National Council on innovation, science, and technology. If your hands are not too busy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, let me now invite the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, Federal Republic of Nigeria, High Chief Dr. Uche Geoffrey Naji, for his keynote address. Please applaud the minister. Keep applauding him. 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 Thank you so very much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You may now resume your seats as we now listen to the chairman of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Geoffrey Naji. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you, our able MC. And thank you very specially, the Azikiwe, Professor Azikiwe Onwal, for the wonderful presentation you made this afternoon. Please, may I respectfully stand on already well-established protocol in this occasion today. Because we don't have time on our side, and there are questions I have to answer too. I say today, we gather at a defining moment, not merely to exchange ideas, but to reaffirm our shared belief that the future of Nigeria will be shaped by deliberate choices. The choice to embrace science, technology, and innovation as the engines of progress. I warmly welcome you all to the 22nd edition of the National Council on Innovation, Science, and Technology. I also extend deep appreciation to the distinguished members of the National Assembly and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, FNIM, ably represented by my brother, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Maurice Mberi, a chief of note in our land, for their unwavering support. Our team, research, develop, innovate, and commercialize, a circle for national prosperity, captures the core strategy of global advancement. Today, leadership among nations is no longer determined by mineral wealth, but by intellectual capital, innovation, and the commercialization of ideas. Nigeria must follow this path, transforming research into solutions, development into progress, and innovation into industries that drive national wealth. Yet, for too long, valuable research from our universities and institutions has remained underutilized, disconnected from industry and national development. Our young inventors have the ideas but often lack the structures to reach the marketplace. This is not a failure of talent. It is a failure of systems. And if we are to compete globally, we must dismantle these barriers and build a vibrant ecosystem where academia, industry, government, and finance work seamlessly together. Distinguished participants, the responsibility before us is historic. You are the custodians of Nigeria's future. Let us commit to building a movement where research translates into commercialization, where innovation becomes a career path, and where indigenous enterprises strive. Over the past 2 days, where deliberations have addressed key priorities, from research funding and interagency collaboration to advancing indigenous technologies and closing institutional gaps. The resolutions from this council will shape policies that define future generations. Let us make research purposeful. Let us make development intentional. Let us make innovation inclusive. Let us make commercialization impactful, the engine that powers national prosperity. Although the 22nd edition was delayed, this gathering comes at exactly the right moment. We will reconvene later this year for the 23rd edition to sustain and build on the momentum we have reignited today. In the journey of nations, some moments matter more than others. This is one such moment. Let us seize it with vision, courage, and unwavering resolve. May God bless our efforts. May God bless the science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. On the issues raised today, one by the Chairman House Committee on Science Engineering, Dr. Inu Agaroba, on fighting insurgents using military, using weapon, I would have loved to discuss it with him, but because he's not here, I want to bring to the notice of this gathering today that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is awake to all the Nigerian problems, and it is being addressed. Just last week, or thereabout, last week, the Federal Executive Council approved that Nigeria launch 4 satellites, 4 Earth observation satellites, that worth millions of dollars. 3 optical satellites and 1 SAR satellite. 1 SAR satellite is the one that will be seen both day, night, fog, rain, every time of the day. So with that, technology is in play. The military can use it effectively, unlike now that when we want to go and view Sambisa Forest or any of these dungeons for this guerrilla warfare, we start buying data, we start buying pictures from the world, everybody that owns satellites. Today, we will now have our own satellites. We will now have both so day and night, we'll be seeing everything that is happening in this country. It is just a question of knowing the coordinates, where it's happening, where it happened, and at the time, we will just rewind and give information on that place. So much important is that if the military wants to go on operation, they will have to use the satellites, they will have to view where they are going to, they will have to take inventory of the situation on ground, and have first-class information and know the force they are going to apply in surmounting the problem facing them. So technology is at play, and this is a renewed hope agenda. On the Nigeria Research and Innovation Council, Prof, yes, from you, it's not been dismantled. It is still as it was. But like you rightly said, there is today the Interministerial Committee on Research and Innovation, which is headquartered, which will be chaired by which is already being chaired by the Vice President of our nation, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, and the Innovation, Science and Technology Ministry is the secretariat. So I'm the member secretary. So we are working day and night. So we are working day and night to bring out the policy, to amend the policy, because we know that the last policy we had was either in 2022 or 2020. So we are trying to amend it, and we are also putting heads together on how to bring up the National Research and Innovation Fund, because that's the very good promise the President gave to me over a year ago, that immediately after the Infrastructure Fund for Ministry of Works, that is the next thing he was going to do. So we are doing it, we are doing it, and very soon it will come on board and it will be announced. So thank you everybody, and have a very pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister, Federal Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Geoffrey Naji. Let's applaud the Honorable Minister one more time. Let's keep applauding, let's keep applauding. Thank you so much, sir, for all you are doing for the ministry. Thank you for your dedication, for your dexterity, for your commitment, for your sincere passion to national development. Thank you all for also giving us the level playing ground to contribute our quota towards national development. Ladies and gentlemen, I know your hands are not busy. Let us put our hands together for our Honorable Minister, Chief Uche Geoffrey Naji, the Chairman of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. Thank you so much, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. With the keynote address by the Honorable Minister, it signals the end of phase 1 of our gathering this afternoon, the end of phase 1 of this summit, extraordinary summit by the Innovation, Science and Technology. This event will reconvene in about 20 minutes. Now, these are the activities that will take place when we return. Please, I need your undivided attention. When we return from the tea break, there will be a consideration and adoption of minutes of the 21st meeting of the National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. Thereafter, there will be a presentation of the draft resolutions of the 22nd National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. Again, we'll be having the reading and adoption of the final resolutions of the 22nd National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology. Again, we will also consider decision on the states to host the 23rd National Council on Innovation, Science and Technology meeting. And then we will snowball into the vote of thanks, and then we will close. Right now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, penultimate all the things I have mentioned. We'll be having 2 activities that will come in quick successions. The first will be a tour on the exhibition stands we have outside this building. And the Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology will lead members on the top table, honorable commissioners, directors, directors general, invited guests, members of the diplomatic corps, all functionaries that are here to the exhibition stands. Thereafter, that should take about 10 to 15 minutes. We will now go for the tea break. Please adhere to the instruction I'll be giving for the tea break. The Honorable Minister, the Permanent Secretary, the rep of the SGF, members of the diplomatic corps, all the members on the top table, and honorable commissioners from states, directors from the ministry will meet at the upper echelon of this building. The VIP lounge is just upstairs. Please, we have enough for every one of us. If we all go there to populate that particular arena, it will be a very critical situation. So please, the category I have mentioned will meet upstairs for the tea break. And then the rest of us will make do with what we have available. Same content here at the foyer of this building. So please, let's adhere to this very simple instruction so we can come back here in record time. So thank you very much, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this is the movement as we are going to recess. Please, let's allow the Honorable Minister and members on the top table to please recess using this door, the door to my right. PEMSEC will join, the rep of HGF will join, all the directors will join, directors general will also join at the top floor there. Then honorable commissioners and PEMSECs from the states will now use the other door to my far right so we can access our exit doors in a very seamless manner. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's about 20 minutes past 1. We should reconvene at 2 p.m. for the concluding part of this event. If that is understood, my Honorable Minister, sir, the PEMSEC man, can we now go for the tour of exhibition and then we'll be back for the concluding part of the event. Thank you very much, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back at 2 p.m. to conclude formalities of this event. Thank you very much. So please, if you are from NITDA here, please, your attention is needed. Please come close to me. From NITDA, we have a communication. Please see that the gentleman who wants to see a staff from NITDA. Thank you very much. Okay, when I return, I'll make an announcement concerning the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja, first national conference on science, technology, and innovation communication. I will make this announcement when we reconvene at 2 p.m. Thank you. NITDA, thank you. We have also a missing flash. This flash was missed on Monday. Lost but found flash. If you are the owner of this flash, please, you see us and tell us the content of this flash and it will be given back to you. Thank you. We are going for the tour first on exhibition stands. When we are done from the tour, we go for tea break and then we reconvene at 2. Thank you. Thank you. Where is the man? Please, hold on. We have NITDA here, please. The gentleman will approach me for a communication for NITDA. Please, NITDA is here now. Thank you.